Hey folks, thanks for checking into the Neutral Zone Hotel. We are an unapologetically left-leaning podcast that explores hockey at its best and worst. We are not hosted by Connor Story this week, unfortunately. I am not as well connected as my fellow Canadian who runs Saturday Night Live, but I have brought along myself, Benjamin, pronouns he, him, and some of my coworkers to host with me. So we got Trevor.
Hi, my name's Trevor. My pronouns are he, him. Fan of the Vancouver Golden Eyes and passive watcher of the Vancouver Canucks losing.
We've got SJ.
Hi, I'm SJ. My pronouns are they, them, and I am a fan of many Seattle area hockey teams.
And we also have Madison.
Hello, I'm Madison, pronouns she, they, and I am a fan of the Boston Raiders. And you can't see me, but I've got a sweater on, so.
There we go.
The fictional hockey teams are the better hockey teams to be fans of.
Yeah, they're great. Fictional hockey teams never let me down.
That's right.
I am sure we could find a fictional hockey team that you find disappointing. I'm sure of it. But you know what? It's not going to be the Boston Raiders. At least not until next season when Ilya Rozhanov signs with Ottawa. So let's talk about the Los Angeles Kings. So in a move that many people saw coming weeks ago, the Kings have parted ways with coach Jim Hillier and promoted associate coach DJ Smith to the primary job. How are we feeling about this move? Misery loves company in Trevor's situation.
I don't understand why they didn't do it last summer.
Heck, you could have even done it like before the Olympic break and had multiple weeks with the new coach to get acquainted, or with an actual coach who's not named DJ Smith, because let's be honest, that man is not a proper coach.
Waiting until after the Olympic break is just like absolutely insane to me. Like I can't fathom the thought process there.
It's 2 games. You got 2 games after the Olympic break, and then they gave him the heave-ho. There's no way.
It was the Oilers game that did it.
Was that the 8-1 game?
It was the 8-1 game that sealed his fate. But here's the thing. It is just insane lack of jamming competence to wait until after the Olympic break and then watch them get absolutely embarrassed and then go, well, I guess we should fire the coach. When it was so obvious. It's been obvious since last summer, after the Oilers mentally broke the Kings, that it was time for him to go. And because he did it with like little to no forethought, he gets stuck with DJ Smith as the interim coach instead of, I don't know, anyone competent. Like, if they had done this last summer, they could have had Peter DeBoer. But, like, DeBoer's not going to come in now and take a team that's out of the playoffs and have no guarantee of making it. And they do this. He does this after trading for Artemi Panarin. Like, don't you think they owed it to Panarin to do this at least before the Olympic break? No, it's just Ken Holland is so incompetent And it's just absolutely shocking to me that Luc Robitaille went, well, Rob Blake, I mean, 4 years in a row to the Oilers. I guess we can't do that anymore. I'm going to replace him with somebody less competent than Rob Blake.
I'm going to replace him with the GM that ran the Oilers that beat us 4 years in a row. That's all it was. They went, can't beat him, so let's join him.
By that logic, they should go hire the Oilers coach who beat them a couple of those years, then go hire Woodcroft.
It's a total misunderstanding of why the Oilers beat them. It wasn't the coaching. It wasn't the GMing. It was Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. It's the talent on the roster. That had nothing to do with Ken Holland. Ken Holland received those players as a gift. Yes. It's I don't understand how we can see this more clearly than Luc Robitaille, who is still there.
I want to talk about what Ken Holland has done to this club since taking over.
Oh boy.
So Holland, at his first free agent frenzy, brought in 32-year-old Yoel Armia on a 2-year deal, 40-year-old Corey Perry.
He's actually been good for them.
And look, he's still not a bad player, but is Corey Perry going to be the guy that gets you over the hump? No. Did Corey Perry play for the Oilers last season? Yes. They brought in Anton Forsberg. They brought in Brian Dumoulin on a 3-year deal, and they paid $4.5 million American dollars per year for 4 years to former Oiler Cody Ceci.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh,
and
every time I'm reminded Cody Ceci is a real thing that's happening, I'm just like, wow, what a world.
He gave these two guys who are both, by any level of analytics, bottom pairing guys if they're not playing with really talented partners. Jim Hiller put them on the same pair and played them as the second pair, and it became the most analytically short-falling defensive pair ever registered in multiple analysts' systems for the games they were together. So I'm not a huge fan of the Adrien Kempe deal. Great player. 10.6 a year for 8 years at age 29. That is even with cap go up, that is an obscene overpay for that player. There is no way he's going to be that productive in 4 or 5 years. And I understand why they would commit 2 years to Artemi Panarin at $11 million. It's only 2 years, but boy, does that ever feel like putting lipstick on a pig.
Absolutely.
It feels like you are repainting the deck of the Titanic and going, I sure hope that this paint dries before that iceberg hits.
At the same time, this is Anze Kopitar's last year. He is retiring.
What a just depressing way to go out.
It's a depressing way to go out, and who do they have to play center besides Quentin Byfield? They haven't addressed the major needs of the team.
The roster construction on the Kings has been a disaster for so long, and it's every time they go to do something about it, they make it worse.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what Ken Holland does, so it's not surprising, but it's hard to watch.
On the one hand, as a Kings hater, it's great, awesome, I love this. And on the other hand, it is hard to watch. It is depressing to have to look at this incompetence every day.
At least they won't have to lose to the Oilers again this year.
I don't think they're. If they make the playoffs, it'll be because, to be honest, the Kraken are just not very good.
I mean, the entire Pacific's not very good, but the fact that as we record, they are currently 6th in the Pacific, tied on points with the Sharks, who have 2 games in hand, 4 points behind the Oilers, and 5 behind the Kraken at equal games played with both. It's not happening.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. It'll be very difficult.
Yeah, I would be very surprised.
And then he hires DJ Smith. And the first game he makes him coach is against the Avs.
That was cruel. It really was.
It was cruel. It was so cruel.
At least DJ Smith is used to being treated cruelly. They let him dangle on so long at the end of his Ottawa tenure. I attended a few of the Fire DJ chant games, and it was not nice of the crowd, but it was worse of the organization to let him dangle there. So just losing to the Avs, that's old hat for DJ Smith. He'll be okay at that.
If you had to lose to a team, I mean, the Avs are like, it's easy to make excuses to be like, well, it's the Avs,
The Kings did the same thing to Hiller, though. Apparently, the chants at that Oilers game were awful. And there have been chants all year long, and they just let him hang out there.
I don't know what assets they have left to put this straight now that they have made their quote-unquote big move for Panarin. And how rare is it that a team swings for the fences by bringing in literally the top trade target and then immediately fires the coach? I don't think I've ever seen the like.
And they got, the Panarin trade was such a gift to them, because Panarin was like, I pick LA. Panarin picked LA. And then nobody got anything. And, the Rangers got very little for him. So it was a huge gift.
Yeah, it's a conditional second, I think, if memory serves.
Did you see that the Kings played 3 rookies in that game against the Avs? 3 players taking their rookie lap.
Yep.
That is how much DJ Smith likes this roster.
Oh no.
Additionally, they lost Kevin Fiala at the Olympics. He's out for the season. Yoel Armia is injured now. Drew Doughty is a shell of his former self.
Guy's like a crypt keeper at this point.
Yeah. Kemper hasn't been very good this year. That's $5.25 million in goal. And they're still paying $4.5 million to Cody Ceci and $4 million to Brian Dumoulin. Brian Dumoulin, who couldn't crack the roster on the Kraken because he was so washed up.
The Dumoulin and Ceci are so bad that CERN should be doing black hole research on the Kings' defense.
Joel Edmondson, I don't know. Brant Clark is good.
Wait,
guess what?
Joel Edmondson is still in the league?
That's how I feel about a good chunk of the Kings roster.
Yeah, $3.85 million for 2 more years after this.
Absolutely stunning. Ken Holland.
They have, I guess,
masterful
Mikey
work.
Anderson and Brant Clark are okay.
Sure.
And Brant Clark is going to need a contract this year. I mean, he's an RFA, but he needs a contract. And he's been quite good for them. So they're going to have to pay him something.
Mm-hmm. Ken Holland, never change, but also never manage my team.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I don't know. This is what you get for taking GM advice from from Gary Bettman. GM hiring advice.
Everyone got stuck with Peter Chiarelli for so long.
Who else was on the short list for the Kings? Do you remember?
I don't. For GM, I don't.
According to a sketchy blog, Mayor's Manor, which I have no idea. There's a hockey blog there. But they said the list of candidates were a few internal folks: Mark Bergevin, Ken Holland, and Ron Hextall.
That's a
Oh.
murderer's row of incompetence.
Yeah, they would be.
Apparently,
Isn't Bergevin still like an advisor to the GM down there? Yeah.
Bergevin is not good at this, and Ron Hextall was not good at this, and Ken Holland is definitely no longer good at whatever glory he once surrounded himself with, I think is finally fading away.
Yeah, that aura is gone.
We just need to stop giving these jobs to guys who have been around for 30 plus years and or have played the game of hockey before. They're not good at this. Like, very few of them are actually legitimately good at this.
The league puts way too much. Having played the game is almost a job requirement. It's so unnecessary. And it's just, in some ways, I think it is an act of detriment.
Well, there are less general managers now that didn't play or didn't meaningfully play, or more, now than there ever has been. But it's not, I think it's still only about a third.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
Joe Sakic is the exception, not the rule.
He's not even the GM.
No, not anymore. But he was really good at it, and that. I just think I think him being good when he was GM has very little to do with him also being a good hockey player. I think those are two separate skills that he just both happens to possess, and the expectation that being a good hockey player means you'll be a good GM is insane to me. They're not exclusive, but they're also not inherently connected.
I think that Joe Sakic is a smart fellow.
Yes.
Unless it comes to snowblowers.
So true.
Look, I did not know that snowblowers store tension that way, and neither did Joe Sakic, and that's fine.
He's not an engineer.
All right. Are we ready to switch gears?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. So unfortunately, that means we now have to talk about Elliotte Friedman. So on the February 28th Sportsnet /CBC Hockey Night in Canada broadcast during the second intermission, Elliotte Friedman was discussing, who was he discussing trade for?
Ryan O'Reilly.
Yes. Ryan O'Reilly is not interested in leaving Nashville, has no move clause. However, teams keep kicking the can on him, and he said, quote, "It's like dating. The more they say no, the better they look." Yeah, I just want to say the official policy of the Neutral Zone Hotel is yikes.
Yeah. Although I would like to correct you, Ryan O'Reilly does not, in fact,
that's the important
have
part
a no
here.
move clause. It is it's totally tangential. It is just that Trotz promised he wouldn't move him, but there's nothing in writing.
It's almost like Barry Trotz may not be good at this either.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But yes. Friedman, what a gross comment.
So, just to get it out of the way, I will play a quick devil's advocate. Obviously, the way he phrased this is disgusting. The sentiment, I think I understand what he was trying to say. What did it, gross way to phrase it? Like the idea of, oh, the thing you can't have is more more, you want it more because you can't have it, is a sentiment that has been expressed in so many other ways that aren't gross and rapey. He didn't have to say it like that. It's just so bizarre.
It's like a child. The more you tell them no, the more they want it.
Yes.
Boom. Problem solved. Friedman was, according to a post, and we can't authenticate this, obviously, a post on Threads, Elliotte was DM'd by a fan, and he responded to the fan under the username elanist.pierre. Hey, Elaine, didn't mean it the way it came across. Have seen many happy situations where one partner didn't initially accept a date from the other, but will probably not use it again. Don't need to make anyone uncomfortable. EF.
So you don't apologize for your comment. You slightly double down on it before saying it won't come up again, and not even just all you have to do is say, I'm sorry. We'll be better. And your comment. That's all you needed. That's all you needed, Elliotte.
The way he says, I didn't mean it the way that I said it, but also I did. Like, he literally, like, being like, oh, I know couples like this. Like, oh, so like, why would you say that? That's not saying you didn't mean what you said. You did exactly mean what you said because you think that's okay.
I mean, here's the thing. He did say it because he thought it was okay.
Yes.
It did not occur to him that there was anything wrong with that statement. And I think that says a lot about our media landscape. I also think the fact is that Elliotte Friedman is still exclusively posts all of his insider hockey knowledge on Twitter. All of the insiders do. Twitter is still, even after everything about that, the Nazification of that platform, Twitter is still the primary place where you can find sports insiders, where you can find certainly hockey journalism. There are so-called incredibly, like, our most vaunted left-leaning, open-minded journalists, they still post almost exclusively to Twitter because that's the platform they picked. That they don't want to have to rebuild on another platform. And they're on there because they don't care. They don't give a shit. Like, it is the fact that it is an extremely toxic, Nazi-supporting, bot-ridden platform that exists to lift up the most awful voices in our society. All of that is not more important to them than their values. And I think that, in fact, those things reflect their values. And I think that says a lot about the media landscape that sports journalism, and especially hockey journalism, is part of.
So I completely agree with you, and I want to top up on that. I think it's also very specific to Canadian sports media, specifically hockey media. A well-tenured commentator in Canadian sports media can get away with almost anything. I want to remind you about the comment Ron McLean made in 2021, where he made a homophobic comment. Quote, "You have a photo of this guy with his tarp, aka shirt off. You're definitely positive for something." He said it meant that person was drunk, but of course, it sounds like that person is gay and has AIDS. There is the multiple lines crossed by various Edmonton Oilers beat writers talking to those players, including the Leon, "Why are you so pissy?" remarks, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but it kind of is. He straight up just insulted a player.
So disrespectful.
There is just a list of things from Pierre Maguire that he has gotten away with. The Hal Gill's long stick comment is the one I always remember. Because Hal Gill is 6'7", still is probably, and played with a very large stick, but he sure as hell made it sound like he was talking about Hal Gill's penis.
Every time anybody talks about, like, Leon Draisaitl's stick, they are explicitly making a penis reference. And they do this constantly during Edmonton Oilers games.
Yep. And then there was the Kendall Coyne Schofield comments on NBC, where he told her, we're paying you to be an analyst, not to be a fan tonight. And then she was talking about wearing a cage. She said, I'll be your cage tonight. How about that? Which is disgusting. And then, of course, there's the grandfather of controversial statements, who was platformed explicitly by CBC for 3 decades, Mr. Don Cherry. And we can go through him all day. And one day I am going to make SJ watch a bunch of Don Cherry's videos for fun and profit. But today is not that day. The point is, Friedman is not alone. There are dozens of similar incidents by Canadian hockey sports journalists that they've gotten away with. And although I expect he will issue an apology on Hockey Night in Canada this weekend, I do not expect it to be from the heart, and I do not expect it to be all encompassing. We'll see, but I'm not ready to give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's going to be a I'm so sorry you were offended, non-apology apology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unless someone is holding a shotgun on him from off camera and has given him a prepared statement.
I think that the I'm sorry you were offended is going to be the statement made with the shotgun. Like I don't think he wants to apologize.
No, I don't think so.
At all.
I do think it is interesting that there were so many complaints issued about this comment that the CBSC issued a statement asking people to stop complaining about it.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, the CBSC is a voluntary organization, but CBC and Sportsnet are both broadcasters who are part of it. And my guess is they will send a letter with some level of words fashioned to say, hey, don't do this. The other thing I want to say is the casualness with which this came out, as it has in the past, remains indicative of the depths of the rotten core of hockey culture.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I think that we have begun to chip away at that over the last couple of decades, when one of hockey's biggest figures can just casually drop a misogynistic statement on hockey's biggest regular stage, it tells you how deep the rot is and how much work needs to be done to get to the core of it. It is disappointing, and I would like to think that we would get an honest apology from it. I guess we'll find out on Saturday.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
No, I try not to. Any other parting thoughts on Mr. Friedman?
I just really dislike him. I have for a long time.
One other thing. When you hear someone saying something like this in hockey, it could be a friend, could be a teammate, could be a kid or a teammate of a kid. The worst thing you can do is say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just say, that's not funny. You don't have to get any deeper than that. If you say something like, that's not funny, or I don't like that really, that alone punctures the myth that this is accepted.
Just say, hey, that's gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
That wasn't very cool. We won't change culture with big sweeping landmark reforms. We change it one thought at a time. Do you guys want to do something fun instead?
Yeah.
We need a cleanser.
All right, we are going to play a game. I have put together a few Connexions boards. I have tried to make these harder than the last time I attempted them because Trevor is here. I have tried to branch them out a little bit, but the top level, so the first level. So does everyone know how to play Connexions?
Oh, I've forgotten.
Tell me, because I don't know at all.
I am going to give you a series of objects, people, things. You have to tell me the link between them.
Got it.
So, for example, if I said right, acute, obtuse,
Angles.
you would then come back with angles. And then I would give you multiple clues, and the answer to those clues might be people named Michael, and it might be cities in Texas, and it might be famous funeral directors. And then I would ask you to link all of those together. Can you link them together, Trevor? Angles, funeral directors, a city in Texas, and people named Michael. Multiple people named Michael. So Michaels.
This is something wrestling related. Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, and Kurt Angle.
WWF champions. Yep.
I was never going to get there.
You were never going to
Me
get that.
either.
I think he curated that one specifically for
We
me.
are going to do points, but the points don't matter. The points are going to be scored like this. I'm going to give you those 4 objects. So if you guess it after the first one, you get 4 points. The third one, you get 3. The third one, you get second. The last one, you get 1 point. And then you get 5 big points for guessing the overall category. We will use the emoji. So everyone pull up your emojis on Discord.
I thought they got rid of that.
Oh, did they?
Oh,
Yeah, there's only
Sound.
sound
you
effects
cannot
now,
spam them anymore.
which is lame because I loved doing that.
Same.
Yeah, that was very helpful. So your buzzer is going to be your name. So everyone test your buzzer right now.
Wait,
Trevor.
what?
Madison.
Say your name.
Oh,
Okay.
SJ?
When you want to buzz in, say your name. All right. We are going to start off with I think this is an interesting one. All right. So category 1 for topic 1. Gladius. Skyzore. A dagger. And a claymore.
Enough of these things sound Italian that I'll take a stab at Roman Empire.
No. Although 2 of them are Roman weapons. That's not the connection I'm looking for. Think about what they are.
Oh, boy.
Blades.
They're weapons?
Madison is right. These are blades.
Blades.
Hey.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go to the second.
I've never even heard of 2 of these.
Same.
I can't help you with that.
I'd heard of 2, which is where I was able to piece it together.
I have roughly ranked them from. And don't forget to use your buzz in with your name.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I have roughly ranked them from hardest to recognize to easiest to recognize. And I've tried to do the same with the categories that will give away what the actual answer is. All right. So category number 2, Roberta Bondar.
Astronauts.
Do you want to buzz in, Trevor?
Sorry, Trevor.
Trevor, go ahead.
Astronauts.
That is incorrect. And you are not allowed to answer for the rest of this round. Sandra Schmerler. Nellie McClung. Emily Clark. Take a guess. You got SJ, go ahead.
Are they hockey players?
They are not. Roberta Bondar is an astronaut, in case you hadn't figured that out.
I had never heard of this person.
These are a broad category.
Are they all women?
That's what I was going to say.
I need you to be slightly more specific than that.
Okay.
Madison, you're the only one left. SJ's main, so
Is
slightly
it
more specific than women.
Canadian women?
It is Canadian women, yes.
Oh my God.
All right. We're going to move on to the third category. Are you ready? Gravitational. tension. Centripetal.
Oh, Madison.
Madison, go ahead.
Force.
Correct. Can you tell me what the fourth one was going to be?
Oh, can you repeat them?
I said gravitational tension and centripetal.
Um,
The answer is right in front of you.
Trevor?
The fourth one is Trevor.
oh, clever.
I'm not going to get any of these, but I am very amused.
So your answer so far is blades, Canadian women, forces, and category number 4, fin. Beaked, as it has a beak. Gray.
Oh, SJ.
SJ.
Wales?
Correct.
Yeah, I got something.
Your 4 category answers are blades, Canadian women, forces, and whales. What?
Madison.
Madison, go ahead. Connecticut
whale
is something, but you need to be... Trevor, go ahead.
Are these names of former women's hockey teams?
Correct. Former women's hockey teams. Trevor gets the big boy 5.
Montreal Force, Connecticut Whale, something I'm sure, women's hocky team. And then
Montreal,
the Boston
Canadian.
Blades.
the Canadian to Montreal.
That's the one.
Right.
And then the
Blades.
Boston Blades was the other one, right?
I see. Blades is the one I hadn't heard of.
Yep. That's why it was the first one. I thought it was the most obscure.
Boston Blades is a good name for a team.
It's fantastic. It's
It
almost
is a
as
great
good,
name for a team.
almost as good as Boston Pride. Like they just have good names in Boston. Got to give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are going to move on to the next category, or the next connection, I should say. So the first category, Piltdown Man. Charles Ponzi. The Sale of the Eiffel Tower.
Madison.
Madison.
Schemes.
What do you mean by scheme?
Like cons.
Hoaxes or cons, yes.
Yeah.
2 points to Madison for finding some famous hoaxes or famous cons. All right. Second category. Atlas. R7. Redstone. Saturn V.
SJ?
SJ.
Are these all rockets?
They are all rockets. We're moving on to category 3. Lula.
Trevor,
Go ahead.
are these all going to be NHL award names?
They are all going to be NHL award names. Trevor will get the 5 big boys, but we're still going to finish out the categories.
Wow. Wait. What were the first 2?
Cons and Rockets.
Cons and
Conn
Rockets.
Smythe and Rocket Richard.
It's all coming together.
With that little bit of additional information, third category is Lula. And
Madison.
Madison, go ahead.
Lady.
No, it is not, I'm afraid.
Valiant effort.
Emmanuel Macron.
Oh, well.
John Tyler.
I know what it is.
John F. Kennedy.
SJ?
Go ahead.
Are these presidents?
They are all presidents. Lula is the current president of Brazil. And yes, category 4, we're going to start with Brett. Barracuda. Beating. And Queen of. What word connects all of those things? And also an NHL award.
Oh, Trevor.
Yes.
Heart.
Yes, you can have the 1 point for that.
There we go.
Brett, the Hitman Heart, the single Barracuda by the band Heart, the Beating Heart, and the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
My beloved.
Did I hear a guitar screech in my head as you said Hitman? Who can say?
All right, let's move on to another connection. So number 1, actually. I should mention that this connection, sometimes you need to think a little French. Don't have a better way to put that.
Yes,
Not
I'm a French major. Let's go.
Not all the time, but sometimes. All right, so we'll start with actually. 15, 30, 40 game. That's all one clue. 15, 30, 40 game. Shakespeare in.
Madison.
Go ahead.
Love.
Correct. Love Actually.
Oh.
Love is the tennis score. Love 15 love, 30 love. Shakespeare in Love, and the last one is going to be Aphrodite, the goddess of love. All right. Second category, Thalia. Erato. Calliope.
Calliope? You mean Calliope?
Calliope? Yeah, I mean Calliope. Cleo.
SJ?
Yes, SJ.
Muses?
Correct. These are muses. Category 3, Disney. Scheider. Orbison.
Oh, SJ.
Madison.
Oh, I got SJ slightly. SJ barely got you. Go ahead.
These are Roy's.
These are Roy's. The last one was Cooper, of course. Roy Cooper. Category 4, Jade. Mint.
Madison.
Madison.
Green.
Things that are green. You have Love, the Muses, Famous Roy's, and Green Things. What is the connection? Some of these might be French.
I'm going to take a stab at this, Trevor.
Yes.
Are these coaches in the Metropolitan Division or in the Eastern Conference?
I'm going to give this to you. It is just current NHL head coaches. Rod Brindamore. Amore, of course, is Love.
Damn. Oh,
Dan Muse, Travis Green, and Patrick Waugh. Because Waugh, French, Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Way.
All right, let's get one that Trevor will feel bad if he misses.
I was desperately trying to make a Muppets connection. It's like, how can we get Kermit in here?
That's a good call. Just so you know, this is actually decently close. Trevor 16, Madison 11, and SJ with 7. Respectable. All right, we got a couple more. So we're going to start with David. Carradine. Richards. To Chuck.
Trevor.
Trevor's got it.
Famous Keiths.
Famous Keiths is correct. For 1 point. Dubois. Charlotte's. Worldwide.
Trevor.
Trevor?
Webbs.
Yes.
I almost thought that.
The last one is going to be Spider-Man Slinger. All right. Clark Gable. Pele. Michael Jackson. Elvis Presley.
Madison. Kings?
People nicknamed King, yes. And the last category in this connection, Barbara and Jenna Bush. Cersei and Jaime Lannister.
SJ?
Yes.
Are these twins?
They are twins. So your categories are famous Keiths, Webbs, people nicknamed King, and famous twins.
Webbs,
Oh, no.
Keiths, Kings, and twins.
Yes. This is a tougher one.
Oh, Keith is really throwing a wrench in here.
Shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
If it shouldn't, that's...
Somebody listening to this right now is screaming at their phone. I want you to know that.
Sorry to that person.
Yeah, for sure.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam, bam, bam. Duncan Keith, Shea Weber, Henrik Lundqvist, and
One of the cities.
Daniel and
both of
Henrik
the
sitting in the
Sedin.
Hall of Fame class of 2024.
Well, it's one Hall of Fame player from the last 4 inductions. Although I would have
Okay.
just taken Hall of Famers or recent Hall of Famers.
I wasn't going to get there.
I don't feel bad about that. No.
Okay, well, we can go to an easy one if you want.
I should feel bad.
I'm having a great time. This game's really fun.
All right, let's do an easy one. Let's do we'll start with the hardest one, of course, in this new connection. Strong on a library book. Cargo.
Madison. Holds.
Correct. 2 points for Madison. All right, let's move on to the next one. Daughter of the Red Skull. This one's for you, Ben Crawl. He would have gotten 4 points right away. Fiction. Punctuation mark. The guitarist for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, Trevor.
Go ahead.
Slash.
It is Slash.
Trevor again.
Go ahead.
Types of penalties.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
Trevor will not be allowed to guess the big one.
That was a good guess, though.
It is. That's why I organized it this way.
Motherfucker. I got baited. Damn
A
it.
trap.
He did trap you.
I didn't trap you. Next category. You can still guess in the categories, though, Trevor, of course. Grappling.
Trevor.
Go ahead.
Hooks.
Yep.
I should have just said it.
Grappling hook, fish hook, a kind of punch, and the captain from Peter Pan. And
I played Captain Hook as a kid. Fun fact.
Ooh.
did you get eaten by an alligator?
Yeah,
Crocodile?
I think so. Yeah, I did.
Kinky. All right.
I'm more amused by how much Trevor is laughing at it than the actual joke.
I wasn't expecting it. You caught me off
All
guard.
right. One last category for this one. Antonin Dvorak. Gregor Mendel. Dominic Hasek. Yarmir Yager.
Trevor.
Go ahead.
Famous Czechs.
Famous Czechs, that's right.
Oh,
So you have famous Czechs, hooks, slashes, and holds.
But they're not penalties.
Not penalty, because Czech's not a penalty. This isn't the PWHL. Actually, it's not IIHF women's hockey.
check.
Czech slot hold. I will say Trevor is very close with his guess, but specifically got baited into the trap I intentionally set for him. Thank you.
Madison?
Go ahead.
Hockey plays?
What are the plays doing?
Hits? No. Blocks? I give up.
SJ, do you want to take a stab? Madison's very close.
Are they defensive plays?
Yeah, ways to impede or restrict a player in the game of hockey.
Okay.
I think SJ was close enough.
I am giving it to SJ.
Okay.
Good.
All right, let's move on to this one.
The pity point.
Another connection here. This one's similar to one we've already had, kind of. Lignite, Bobby Hull, Tomcat, 747.
Trevor,
Yes,
types of jets.
correct.
Ah!
That's a good one.
I was like, planes? Bobby Hull's not a plane.
The Golden Jet. That was his nickname. Cassins, White-tailed, Golden.
SJ,
Go ahead.
Eagles?
Correct. Types of eagles.
Was the last one going to be bald?
It is, yes. Bart, Morgan, Teach.
Trevor,
Go ahead.
famous pirates.
Famous Pirates is correct. The last one, of course, is going to be Sparrow. Sandra Day O'Connor. John Quincy Adams. Coretta Scott King. Neil Armstrong. It's a very broad category.
Wait, can you repeat those ones again?
Sandra Day O'Connor.
Oh, okay. Yes. Madison.
Yes, go ahead.
People with 3 names.
No. Although,
Oh.
no, because Neil Armstrong's the last one.
Oh, I hadn't listened that closely. I was so close.
Honestly, that would have been accidental if I had thrown in a 3-name person. As a hint, me and Trevor could not be in this category, but SJ and Madison could be.
Are these just Americans?
They are just Americans.
Yeah.
So your category, your connection hints.
Are these AHL teams?
They are not. So it is Jets, Eagles, Pirates, and Americans.
Oh, this might be a rough one here, but I wonder if I can. Trevor,
Yeah, you lose nothing by taking a guess. Go ahead.
are these NFL teams?
They are not NFL teams.
No.
Fuck.
Madison.
Pirates could have been Buccaneers. Americans could have been Patriots.
Madison. You want to take? Remember, this is similar to a previous category we've had. You want to take a guess?
Okay. Americans, Pirates,
Eagles and Jets.
Eagles, and Jets. They're not AHL teams.
I'll give you one more hint.
Okay.
Colorado's current baseball team could be on this list by name.
Fuck!
Jeez.
Damn it, I know this one now! Oh, I'm so pissed.
Boy. I am so sorry. I don't know.
It's okay. Trevor, what is it?
These are defunct NHL teams.
Correct.
They're what?
Fuck.
The defunct NHL teams. The original
Oh.
Winnipeg Jets, the St. Louis Eagles, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Brooklyn Americans.
The Jets were throwing me off.
That's why
Okay.
they're on there.
You're too good at this.
I get 2 more. I think you will appreciate both of these. So the first category in the new connection is going to be franchise hockey manager. World of Tanks.
Madison.
Go ahead.
Video games.
Not specific enough. Do you want to try to be more specific?
Yeah, computer, like PC games.
More specific.
I don't know.
Okay.
The specifics I can get.
Microsoft Flight.
Trevor.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Simulators.
Correct. Simulators. Second category. Seattle over Colorado in the 2023 playoffs. Dodgers over the Blue Jays in 2025. Go ahead.
Oh, wait. I shouldn't say. I was just thinking upsets, but I don't think Dodgers over Blue Jays was an upset.
Do you want to take a different guess?
Playoff series wins.
Madison.
Go ahead.
Game 7s.
USA versus USSR at the 1980 Olympics. Canada versus USA in the 2010 Olympics.
Oh, God.
It's all up to you, Trevor.
Oh, frick. I guess, yeah.
I'm so mad.
So hold on. That wasn't an overtime. That wasn't, no.
Don't overthink this.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to go series clinchers.
No,
that doesn't make sense.
USA USSR wasn't a series clincher. These are simply famous wins.
Oh, come on.
That's a terrible category.
You'll appreciate it, I promise.
Sure.
Number 3, Jesus Christ.
Assholes.
Harrison Ford.
I take that back.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
What?
Mike Holmes.
Oh, Trevor.
Yep.
Famous carpenters.
Famous carpenters, that's right.
Oh my God. That's so good.
I really wanted to guess fictional people, especially after you said Harrison Ford, but
That's good. All right, fourth category. Palamedes. Tristan. Galahad. Lancelot Duloc.
SJ,
Go ahead.
Knights of the Round Table.
Knights of the Round Table is correct. So your 4 categories are computer simulations, famous wins, carpenters, and Knights of the Round Table. Sims, wins, carpenters, and Knights.
Oh,
Trevor.
Oh.
Members of the 2026 U.S. women's gold medal winning team.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we got one more.
Well, that was a good one.
All right, one
That
more.
was a good one.
P9. Montmorency. Barry Uquam. Lucien L'Allier. I don't expect Madison to get this one, but I know Trevor and SJ have been to some of these places. These are all stations on the Montreal Metro.
I never took the Metro with you, so I don't know
Yeah,
about
but
that
we drove by it. We parked at it.
I wasn't paying attention.
That's not my problem.
I definitely was like, are these streets in Montreal?
P9 is also a street, yeah.
I knew it was something to do with French things, but
Yes.
that was as far as I got.
All right, let's go with Chester Nimitz. Lord Horatio Nelson.
SJ?
Go ahead.
And these admirals or fleet commanders?
They are admirals, yes.
Okay.
Sick.
It would
Nice
have
work,
ended up
SJ.
with, it would have gone John Paul Jones and Jim Kirk in the first 4-star Trek films.
Okay.
All right. Nebula. Mantis.
Honk.
Drax.
Oh, SJ.
Yes.
And these are Guardians of the Galaxy characters?
They are Guardians of the Galaxy characters. The last one, of course, was Star-Lord. All right. Renee Belloc. Marcus Brody. Marion Ravenwood.
Trevor.
Indiana.
These
Go
are
ahead.
characters from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
They are characters
Trevor
from Raiders of the
again.
Lost Ark.
These are teams from Heated Rivalry.
That is correct. Metros, Guardians, Admirals, and the Raiders.
I knew you were going to throw that in there somewhere.
That's good. That's good.
That was a good one.
Trevor, did you actually ever end up watching the
Nope.
show? No, you
Not
still
yet.
haven't watched it?
A poser, fake fan.
Oh, I would say I'm a fake fan is just, I pay
I was
attention.
kind of hoping SJ or Madison would jump in early on that one.
With my Boston Raiders sweatshirt on. This is embarrassing for me. I'm signing off.
Here's the thing. As soon as you said Metros, I'm like, this rings a bell. I think this is where we're going, but I didn't recognize the next two.
The Guardians are not actually in the TV show yet.
They are not.
That's
So
probably. I
this
think that's
is-
what threw me.
They're actually, so this is like a mix of book and TV
Yeah, because they're not the Raiders in the
so
book.
Obviously,
SJ and I are too big of fans for this to
It
afford.
specifically says teams in heated rivalry.
No,
it doesn't say
it's not
book.
wrong.
you and every fic writer on AO3 are mixed the book and TV canon, just FYI.
So true.
you're in good company.
So true.
Or terrible company, depending on the quality of the fic, I
Do
guess.
not talk smack about my beloved AO3.
I wasn't. I was just saying some of it's
and
not
our
as good as the
brave
others.
volunteers who provide us with content. Big salute to fan fiction writers from Neutral Zone Hotel.
That's right. I will defend them with my life alongside Madison. Even the ones who have no understanding of point of view.
I think that's the episode title right there, SJ.
No understanding of point of view, or I'll defend
No,
them with
big
my life.
salute to fanfic writers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll write that down.
All right, folks, thanks. We hope you enjoyed yelling at your phone when our hosts struggled. And speaking of content, we are going to send you over to our pre-prepared content series on Alan Eagleson, who is just a real piece of shit. This will be part 4. And yeah, have fun. Hey, folks, we are going to pick up with part 4 of Hockey's Greatest Bastards, the story of Alan Eagleson. I am here with SJ,
Hello.
Trevor,
Yeah.
and Emily.
What's up?
So we are going to jump back in where we left off. So we are going to talk about Bobby Orr. So I think, Emily, you are familiar with the career of Bobby Orr, at least theoretically.
I am familiar with Bobby Orr, yes.
SJ, I think you are probably at least tangentially familiar.
I remember that picture of him like diving.
Yeah. Bobby Orr is like the only defender since the 30s to win the Art Ross for highest scoring player in the NHL. He won multiple Hearts. He won 8 Norrises in a row. To give you an idea, he played 657 NHL games and scored 915 points. He only played he never played a full season other than 1974 to 75. He was always injured. And he posted 120 points casually in 1969 to 1970. Won 2 Stanley Cups. Bobby Orr was the real deal. However, you would think a player like this, Boston would want to keep around, right?
Theoretically.
So this is the story about how he left Boston. So things with Bobby Orr had primarily gone well during his career in Boston. Orr won the Calder Trophy, 3 Hearts, 2 Art Rosses, 8 Norrises. He was named to the first All-Star team 9 times. He won 2 Stanley Cups, and in both successful Cup campaigns had won the Conn Smythe. He scored, like I said earlier, an absolutely obscene amount of points in his career, 657 games. He was also the most popular athlete in Boston. And Boston is a sports town, so there was lots of competition. In the modern era, superstars don't move teams when they reach free agency, with only a small handful of exceptions. In the 1970s, though, it was completely unheard of. The greatest stars in NHL history, Gordie Howe, Bobby Hull, Maurice Richard, Jean Beliveau, Eddie Shore, they were all one-team players. Gordie Howe, of course, would come back and play with Hartford, but up until he left for the WHA, he was a Detroit Red Wing. So when Bobby Orr signed with Chicago in 1976, instead of choosing to re-sign with Boston, the entirety of the hockey world was shaken. Bill Wirtz, who was the owner of the Chicago Blackhawks and the grandfather, I think, of the current owner, he had been absolutely furious about the 1967 trade of Ken Hodge and Phil Esposito to Boston. Probably heard of Phil Esposito, SJ?
Yes.
The greatest goal scorer before the 80s. The return had been Gilles Moreau, Pitt Martin, and Jack Norris. And that is a Norris of the Norris family. There are many Norrises. Including the players received in return, the Blackhawks got 1,515 games, 953 points, and 333 goalie games, most of which were out of Murray Bannerman in the 1980s. Phil Esposito alone scored over 1,000 points with Boston. Ken Hodge put in another 674. Boston would eventually move on from both players, trading them to the Rangers individually. In the return for Hodge was Rick Middleton and another 1,000 points by Rick Middleton, and Esposito brought back Brad Park and Jean Rattel. So this is not only did Chicago lose this trade, it is one of the most lopsided trades in NHL history. It pretty much damned Chicago to a decade of darkness and brought 2 Stanley Cups and a decade of success to Boston. So when Bobby Orr's contract was up, Eagleson informed Orr that the Bruins were not particularly interested in re-signing him, noting a recent knee injury that had tempered their desire to sign the megastar. Bobby Orr obviously was playing with bad knees his whole career. He had 14 or 15 knee surgeries. But the truth is that Boston had made 2 offers. This was during the time Jeremy Jacobs was buying the team. There was one offer that had come from the previous owners, Storer Broadcasting, and one that had come from Jeremy Jacobs. Orr today says he was not consulted about these offers. What happened was, and I'm quoting here from, I have footnotes, quoting here from Houston and Schultz book, Eagleson. Eagleson turned down both deals, a decision confirmed by a letter dated January 23rd, 1976, sent by Eagleson to Paul Mooney, the president of the Bruins, which read, "As you are well aware, Bobby is anxious to finalize his agreement with you. I am sure your records will indicate that our last offer from you was as follows. Salary, $295,000 a year for 5 years, plus a payment of $925,000 on June 1st, 1980, or 18.5% of the hockey club in lieu thereof."
Woohoo!
Wow.
That is a deal.
He should have taken the 18%.
Of the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
So that is the deal that was offered by Jacobs. The previous deal was $335,000 a year per year for a 5-year contract. And then the letter notes, finally, these offers were both declined by me and my client.
But he never
Eagleson-
actually told Orr about him.
That is shady as hell.
It sounds deeply illegal, not just shady.
Also that.
I think it is entirely possible that Alan Eagleson did not represent Bobby Orr to the best of his ability.
You don't say.
You don't
Wow.
say.
Don't say.
What an accusation.
Oh, it gets a little crazier. So Eagleson framed this to Bobby Orr as the Bruins reducing their offer from $2.4 million to $1.75 million over 5 years. He didn't explain it that Orr was getting a stake in the Bruins. So this was nonsense. But he told Orr that Chicago was willing to step up to the plate. Bill Wirtz wanted revenge on the Bruins for the Esposito trade, so he pushed to negotiate with Orr immediately. Then, as in now, teams were not allowed to negotiate with pending free agents for whom they do not hold their rights without express permission of the club. With this in mind, Boston continued making offers to Orr through Eagleson right until the night before his deal with Chicago was announced. However, this was futile because Bobby Orr had signed his new deal well before. So then, as in now, free agency commenced on July 1st. This is quoting from Ross Conway's book, Game Misconduct. The meeting was held May 17th and 18th, 1976, 2 weeks before Orr's contract with the Bruins expired. An agreement was struck and signed on the spot on Standard Brand's letterhead. We agree to a 3-year contract guaranteed commencing June 1st, 1976 through May 31st, 1979 at $500,000 per annum. In addition, Chicago will have options annually for a further 7 years on Orr's services at $500,000 per annum. The contract registered with the NHL will be 10 by $300,000. The contract will be for services in hockey and other business activities. The agreement was signed by William W. Wirtz and Robert G. Orr, witnessed by Ross Johnson of Standard Brands. So, sorry, and I said earlier July, it was June 1st, free agency. So 2 weeks in advance, he signed with the Blackhawks on a deal that was only guaranteed for 3 years, but they lied to the NHL and told them it was only $300,000 a year.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Now tell me, would you rather have 3 years of $500,000 guaranteed or 18.5% of the Boston Bruins?
Well, what year was this?
1976.
Still the Bruins. Still 18% for the Bruins, yeah.
So is there an end date to your ownership of that share of the Bruins, or is that just in perpetuity until you decide to sell it?
Jeremy Jacobs owns the team to this day, and he was the one making the offer. So
then the Bruins is absolutely the correct choice.
Can you imagine if Bobby Orr... Is Bobby Orr still alive? I don't know.
He is.
Yes.
He is. Imagine if Bobby Orr owned 18% of the Bruins today.
That would be wild.
It would make so much sense, though.
He would have had a lot less trouble in his life in the 1980s, and we're going to get to that in a minute.
Alan Eagleson really screwed him.
Oh, so bad. Bobby Orr in his biography doesn't talk about Alan Eagleson at all until one chapter that's entirely devoted to how much Eagleson screwed him over.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bobby Orr made it clear he didn't want to go to Chicago. The Bruins didn't want him to go to Chicago, but Orr's relationship with Eagleson meant he rejected attempts by Bruins management to talk directly with him. Orr told Harry Sinden that the Bruins were trying to drive a wedge between him and Eagleson. Paul Mooney tried to talk to Orr directly, but Orr rejected any conversation. Obviously, the person really driving the wedge was Alan Eagleson, and his goal was to get Bobby Orr to Chicago to do a solid for his friend Bill Wirtz. Orr would, as the kicker, Orr would only play 20 games for the Blackhawks before retiring.
Oh, God.
So much for those 7 extra years they could have tacked on at any point.
The Blackhawks refused to pay him his guaranteed player's salary.
Oh, but it's guaranteed.
I'm glad they've just been a fucked up organization since the beginning.
Well, it's always been the Wirtz.
Oh, yeah.
The Wirtz family is just rotten to the core.
So the fun thing is that the Blackhawks were originally owned by the Norris family, the same family that owned the Detroit Red Wings, and he gave the elder Norris gave it to his fail son, who ran it so badly that his business advisor, who was Bill Wirtz's dad, basically inherited the team when he died. Yeah, I am going to probably do an episode about all that because it's very funny. And also Marguerite Norris should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. But yeah, at this point, the Wirtzes are in charge and they are just as screwed up then as they are now. So instead of his guaranteed player's salary, Eagleson negotiated a deal with the general manager of the Chicago Blackhawks, who happened to be Bob Pulford at this time, to make him an assistant, a job that Bobby Orr hated being assistant to the GM. The Eagleson-Orr relationship, which was the agent-player relationship that had revolutionized hockey and directly led to the creation of the NHLPA, was falling apart at a rapid rate. So I'm going to quote from Orr's book here. As he grew more powerful, he became harder to take. I grew to dislike the way he treated people in public. I will never forget a lunch meeting Eagleson and I had with Paul Fireman. He wanted to talk about a potential sponsorship deal with his new sporting goods company. The three of us met at a nice restaurant, and we had barely sat down before Eagleson started ranting to the point where I could see poor Paul was quite taken aback. Eagleson wasn't just aggressive, his language was rude and totally vulgar, which, is, as we have seen, is entirely in keeping with Eagleson. I suppose he was trying to intimidate Paul, but all he managed to do was offend him along with everyone else in the restaurant. Paul would tell me years later Eagleson's behavior was about the worst he had ever seen. The company he went on to found was Reebok. And Fireman maintains that after that first meeting with Alan Eagleson, he decided he would never work with him or his clients.
He had good instincts.
I mean, how many millions of dollars is a Reebok endorsement for a guy like Bobby Orr or any of Alan Eagleson's clients? He had big names.
Yeah.
As Orr began his journey,
very hard not to make a heated rivalry joke.
You can make heated rivalry jokes. They'll always be timely.
Famous, Reebok sponsoree, Shane Hollander.
I mean, Shane Hollander did not have a bad agent, from what we can tell. So, as Bobby Orr began his journey as an assistant to the general manager of the Blackhawks, he began to see Eagleson in a different light. When Orr and Pulford were pursuing the services of Dave Hutchison, for example, it looked like they were ready to sign. Eagleson intervened and got Hutchison to sign with Toronto instead for less money, where he would play with Eagleson's new star player, Darryl Sittler. But the breaking point was when Orr was informed he owed a large amount of taxes both to the IRS and Revenue Canada. In July of 1980, Orr's liability to tax agencies and accountants totaled $469,000. The total assets of Bobby Orr Enterprises came to a sum of $456,000. So, Emily, you missed this. Eagleson set up Bobby Orr Enterprises as an investment vehicle for Bobby Orr, and then employed Bobby Orr, and then
Okay.
All the contracts were signed with Bobby Orr Enterprises, and then he was leased to them as a player. This was an illegal tax scheme.
What the fuck?
Eagleson fired an accountant that told him this was illegal. And when the IRS and Revenue Canada figured it out, the tax liability was equal to the amount of money in the business. Bobby Orr, who had the first $1 million deal in hockey, who had signed that guaranteed deal with the Blackhawks, was broke.
What the fuck?
Wow.
That's shivved right in the back, in the kidney.
Yeah, that is.
He stuck it in
That
the
is
kidney and then he
brutal.
twisted it.
I'm going to read you some quotes from Alan Eagleson's book about Bobby Orr. There was nothing wrong with the concept of Bobby Orr Enterprises except for Bobby Orr's spending habits.
Oh boy.
My wife Nancy once told him, when we used to discuss such things, Bobby, you can't spend the money and have it too. If he had spent the money the way I spent money or Daryl Sittler spent money, there would have been in that company right now probably $2 million.
Stop. You motherfucker.
That's how these guys do. Blame the victim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, Bobby Orr, and again, Emily, you missed this part, but Bobby Orr Enterprises was used to invest in a bunch of vehicles, sports camps, pizza restaurants, a car wash. Even though Eagleson only controlled 20% of it, he was the one making all the decisions because Bobby Orr gave him his voting power. And of course,
buddy,
who got hired and got paid an exorbitant fee to do all this work? It was Alan Eagleson and Alan Eagleson's legal firm. I'm going to read you a couple more quotes here. There was a fanfare for a new Bobby Orr pizza place in Oshawa. Oscar set them up and they did well, except Bobby didn't want to have anything to do with them. He'd say, I never eat this stuff. And he wouldn't go to an opening. So Oscar said, we might as well get out of the deal. If Bobby had just cooperated, he'd be making hundreds of thousands of dollars right now, but he just kissed off an association that could have been a long-time money winner for him.
Sure.
And Eagleson recalled a conversation he had with Tony Esposito. I'll tell you one thing. You just remember this conversation. That guy is going to do to you what he has done to my brother. What's he done to your brother? My brother is a good hockey player. That guy up there is a great hockey player, but he shouldn't badmouth my brother. I'm just telling you. So yeah, he's saying Tony Esposito was blaming Bobby Orr. Business people were blaming Bobby Orr. His wife blamed Bobby Orr. So Eagleson took no responsibility for the failure of Bobby Orr Enterprises to turn a reasonable profit.
Oh, boy.
What a horrible, horrible man.
Oh, it gets worse. We're not even at the worst stuff.
Oh, goody.
So what Bobby Orr Enterprises did with Bobby Orr's money is an issue. We saw earlier that Bobby Orr Enterprises was used as Eagleson's slush fund to increase profits from the sale of Summit Series advertising. In 1971, BOE also bought the closed-circuit television rights. Does everyone here know what closed-circuit television is? No one's confused by that? ASJ's?
You might want to say for the kids.
Closed-circuit television is what happened before pay-per-view. You would get the rights to sell it, and usually it'd be broadcasted in theaters and other similar places. So they got the closed-circuit television rights for a boxing match between Joe Frazier and Cassius Clay, similar to how Orr Enterprise money was used around the Summit Series. Once again, Eagleson did not inform Orr his money was being used. $250,000 of his money was being used until it was done. One of the first investments made on Bobby Orr's behalf was the purchase of a large plot of land near Orillia for the Orr-Walton Sports Camp. Bill Waters, who later becomes an agent, was hired to run the camp. The camp also hired Doug Orr and Mike Walton's father. However, Orr notes that many Eagleson friends and family members ended up on the payroll. For some time, Eagleson moved money from player Wilf Paymont's accounts to the camp to pay expenses. At the time of the sale so Eagleson buys Bobby Orr out of Bobby Orr Enterprises. At the time of sale, the Orr Walton Sports Camp owed $285,000 in loans, some of which were to Irving Ungerman, one of Eagleson's close friends and the father of his law partner. Eagleson had invested Orr's money widely. The Orr Walton Sport Camp, a 4.5% take in Pony Sporting Goods, which was a failed venture that seems to be a paper piece for a bunch of Eagleson vehicles. 80% of Walker Heights development in Collingwood, Ontario. 40% of Nangill Investments, which was an investment company created by Alan Eagleson to move money around. It's a shell corporation, basically. And also it paid his wife to decorate all of his offices.
Oh, good. I'm glad his wife was getting paid.
Everyone's getting paid. $130,000.
Except for Bobby Orr.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's just a stupid hockey player.
Oh.
$130,000 of equity in a Toronto car wash, $50,000 into Marty's Custom Clothiers, the failed Bobby Orr pizza parlors, and a $125,000 mortgage on the Eagleson family's Toronto home. In addition, Alan Eagleson committed $90,000 of Bobby Orr's money to York University to form the Bobby Orr Sports Injury Clinic at their School of Medicine. Mm-hmm. The president of York University at the time was H. Ian MacDonald, a bigwig in the Progressive Conservative Party. Orr was not told about it, and reporters friendly to Eagleson ran stories about Orr defaulting on his commitment after the Eagleson-Orr relationship collapsed. Orr was broke. He raised $20,000 for them through fundraisers, but couldn't meet the commitment. The next president of York University wrote to Bobby Orr and asked for a meeting to talk about the $63,000 left unpaid. Orr replied that he was unaware of the money that Mr. Eagleson had pledged in his behalf. The president wrote back in June insisting York University continues to regard you as responsible for the full amount. In July, Eagleson wrote Arthurs, the president, I am disappointed to learn that Mr. Orr has decided not to honor the commitment with which he was in full agreement at the time it was made. For Mr. Orr to suggest otherwise at this late date does not speak well for him or his memory. Bobby Orr's papers show a handwritten response. Dear Mr. Eagleson, you are the last person that should be talking about anyone having a poor memory.
Oh, damn. Get his ass.
Eagleson paid the remaining money on the condition that the clinic become the R. Alan Eagleson Sports Clinic. Both men sued each other. The split ended with Eagleson buying Bobby Orr out of Bobby Orr Enterprises for $620,000, which was roughly his tax money plus the cost of the lawyers for the lawsuit. Deborah Clayton reported that BOE's percentage of Nangill had been valued at $200,000 in 1978, but Eagleson bought it back from Bobby Orr Enterprises for $40,000. Similarly, his stake in Walker Heights development was valued at $350,000, but purchased by Eagleson for $150,000. Some of the delta might be Alan Eagleson bragging up values in the late 70s, but some of it might be Eagleson taking advantage of a client on the ropes. He took the property for the Orr Walton Sports Camp and sold it for $500,000, repossessed the property when that purchaser defaulted, and then sold it again for $900,000. So Alan Eagleson came out A-OK. Bobby Orr walked away with nothing.
Of course.
It's depressing, right? Like,
There is not a deep enough hole for people like this.
Truly.
he's not even in a hole yet. He's still alive.
I know.
Does he want to be in one?
The fallout of the Orr-Eagleson split was public. Orr himself felt humiliated. He told Ross Conway, I'm embarrassed. I didn't pay attention. I trusted him about everything. More than Bobby Orr, however, left Eagleson and his business Sport Management. Bill Waters, who had started at that Orr Walton sports camp and eventually became the top agent for sports management after Eagleson, formed his own agency. He was joined by another agent, Rick Curran, who still, I think, has a couple clients to this day, and an accountant named Dave Snowden. Eagleson said it was a small dent in my $1 million a year enterprise, but he paid a bonus to another one of his accountants, Tom Brown, not to leave. Brown got the money and left anyway. There was a lot of noise and smoke in the 65 Queen Street office, remembers Brown, and it wasn't even worthwhile asking a sympathetic question. How's it going, Marvin? It would just be a sigh and a shake of the head. Don't ask. It's not fun.
That's an apt descriptor of this whole story so far.
The Marvin he's referring to is Marvin Goldblatt, who was Alan Eagleson's closest compatriot and accountant, and he turned state's evidence on Alan Eagleson in the 1990s and got a full pardon because he was just as crooked.
Of course he was. I mean, if you're going to be Alan Eagleson's closest compatriot, you have to be just as crooked.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would come out of every meeting feeling too slimy.
Also, he would just get rid of you because you weren't doing his tax fraud for him.
You had to be just as crooked, but completely submissive, because that's the type of person he wanted around him. So even though Eagleson tried to put a brave face on this, it impacted his business. He went from 160 players under his management at the end of the 1979-80 season, which was 30% of the NHL at the time, to about 60 players pretty much overnight. Most of the 100 went to Walters, Curran, and Snowden's new agency, Bernada Sports Management. Eagleson sued Waters for breach of contract, and he would brag about the settlement he received in the court case. He'd tell people he won all this money. In reality, he was getting $10,000 a year for 10 years.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing, but the base business that they took with them was more than $350,000 a year.
Nice.
Waters was able to take so much business because Eagleson had, at the end of that period of time, insisted on only handling the biggest name clients, Bobby Orr, Marcel Dion, Daryl Sittler. That would give him access to more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Waters and Curran were handling the entry-level guys, but some of those guys would become big players, which let them build up a solid client base. Another agent, Arthur Kaminsky, commented on this to Deidre Clayton. Bill Waters pulling out of the Eagleson camp was inevitable because Bill worked like a Trojan, whatever that means, and eventually was going to figure out he is earning a great deal of money for Mr. Eagleson and not much for himself, but he is doing 70% of the work. Kaminsky claims that when Waters left, Eagleson had to pick up the telephone and introduce themselves to most of the players that had stuck with him. At that time, Al was nothing more than a name, a household word that Bill sold. He's become like a Wizard of Oz, the man behind the machine, a voice behind a great facade. Which is a great quote. Great quote.
That is a great quote.
Bill Waters would sell Bernada Sports Management to Rick Curran so he could become the assistant general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, a position he would hold for 12 years. He was also the lead investor with Bobby Orr and Ty Domi in a group that purchased the Toronto Rock, which led them to 5 National Lacrosse League championships in 10 years. Rick Curran still has some players: John Carlson, Jordan Stahl, and Brad Lambert, which I think he took on he took Brad Lambert on as a favor to family. His son, I think, is also an agent. His son represents Charlie McAvoy and Eli Tolvanen.
All right, there's some names.
Yeah.
Ellie Tolvanen.
Sorry. And he formed Orr Player Management with Bobby Orr and Paul Krapelka. Some of the other players that Rick Curran managed during his career was Brendan Shanahan and Mark Recchi, so they did okay.
Mm-hmm.
So despite the loss of players to Bernada, sports management remained a significant cash cow. It's worth reviewing how he used his agency to maximize profits. Players who signed with Eagleson would generally turn their paychecks over to either sports management or Raycon Consulting. Emily, I'm probably going to cut this out, but Alan Eagleson names all of his shell companies stupid fucking things.
You're not wrong.
Raycon.
Everything you've mentioned.
Raycon is RAE for Robert Alan Eagleson, Con for consulting.
Stop.
So it's Raycon Consulting. It's Robert Alan Eagleson Consulting.
Consulting. Good. Nice.
Easy
Love
industry.
that.
Nangill Investments.
Great job, dude.
Nangill Investments. His wife's name is Nancy. His daughter's name is Jill.
Stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All these shell companies are fucking stupid. They're very obvious. So
Ridiculous.
they would turn their paychecks over. They would manage their money for them at a rate of $100 per hour in the 1980s. Marvin Goldblatt was the treasurer of both companies, suggesting there was no actual competition in their relationship. Top stars were referred to a company to manage their image called Sports Representative, which was run by longtime Alan Eagleson ally Bob Haggard. Eagleson had started in the Toronto Maple Leafs locker room as a coordinator, and Eagleson kept bumping him up because he was loyal. The Toronto Star reported Eagleson set up sports representatives for Haggard, but both men would deny a business association. They definitely weren't doing kickbacks. They want you to know this.
I also believe them 100%.
My shirt saying that I'm definitely not doing kickbacks raises a lot of questions about doing kickbacks.
That's right. Should be it. So one of the key ways that he generated revenue was by getting these talented people like Goldblatt, Rick Curran, Bill Waters. He would then hire them out. Bill Waters was hired out to Hockey Canada in 1977 and 1978, for which sports management was paid $45,000 a year for his services. Money that Alan Eagleson refused to pay him because it was already being paid as a player agent. Curran was legally an employee of the Orr Walton Sports Camp and was being paid $15,000 a year for services billed to Hockey Canada at $25,000 a year. There's a really good quote here that Waters recounts. It's a conversation with Marvin Goldblatt. During one salary negotiation, Goldblatt told Curran that Eagleson was prepared to pay him $22,000. Curran said, "I think I'm worth a little more than that." Goldblatt eyed him for a minute, got up and closed the door. "You know," he began kindly, "Alan likes you. You've done a great job, but we brought you on here at considerable expense in order to provide you with an opportunity to work." Curran reminded Goldblatt that as international coordinator, he was responsible for getting all the international hockey contracts typed up. He knew Hockey Canada was paying his employer of record $25,000 for his services. He also knew that Eagleson only paid him $15,000 annually for the same service. "I don't think I've cost Alan money. I think he's made $10,000 on me. In addition to doing my work for Hockey Canada, I'm also doing extra work for sports management." "Well, don't forget there are secretarial fees and your office space and all that," responded Goldblatt. Curran shook his head. "Marvin, I don't have a secretary." So obviously just nonsense, right?
Nonsense. And he was like, "Yeah, I can see right through that. Thank you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to see why Curran and Waters left.
Yeah.
Just taking constant advantage of these people. And if you didn't become a lackey, he would just suck you dry. In 1972 alone, Eagleson reported that he negotiated over $7 million in contracts. At this time, Eagleson was making more than $500,000 a year as an agent in 1978. But it was billing the organizations he controlled that got him even more money. Eagleson would always claim he didn't take a lot of money from the NHLPA and Hockey Canada. He wrote in 1989, "Neither I nor any member of my family nor any company with which I have been associated has ever received money directly or indirectly from any international hockey event," which is a bold-faced lie. In 1976, for example, Eagleson charged Hockey Canada $83,281 for office and general expenses, despite the fact that his office was maintained by the NHLPA at their cost.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty
Love
classic
that.
Alan Eagleson scam.
By the 1990s, Hockey Canada was paying over $1 million a year in administrative fees, most of which went to Eagleson-controlled companies. Although Hockey Canada,
That's so fucked.
Hockey Canada directors can only say they thought the money was going to Eagleson. One of his lackeys, Chris Lang, was treasurer of Hockey Canada and the president of Pony Sporting Good, and he had signed off on a deal with Raycon to hire the services of Goldblatt and another Eagleson associate for Sam Simpson for $210,000 a year. Goldblatt was directly retained by Hockey Canada, but once Eagleson realized how valuable he was, he took him out of working for Hockey Canada and then sold him back through Raycon. And then, of course, Eagleson was directly paid bonuses for exceeding international hockey revenue. This is right in his contract. If they exceeded the revenue targets, he got a cash bonus of $25,000. So it's just a lie. All this stuff he says is a lie. There was a huge expose on him in Sports Illustrated in 1980, back when Sports Illustrated did journalism. They questioned him about how he used his staff to generate revenue. His response was dismissive. The guy works for me, and if I can put him to work and make $1 million, it's my million, not his. If I pay my guy $30,000 and rent him out for $50,000, that makes me smart.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. Eagleson was extracting money directly from the NHLPA as well. He always said it was a part-time position. He had a $25,000 retainer in 1971, which meant Eagleson was not only taking the work, but billing the NHLPA hourly.
Oh my God.
He told Clayton they could never afford to pay me what my time is worth. Sometimes he would say he was doing 20% of his time for the NHLPA, sometimes 60%. By 1979, the retainer alone was $150,000 a year. In 1988, and this is just really gets into it. In 1988, another Eagleson company, Elliotte, which is a portmanteau of Jill, Alan, and Eagleson.
Oh my God.
Elliotte Holdings bought a building on Maitland Street in Toronto. The NHLPA became the primary tenant at the location, which was not voted on or disclosed to the players.
Of course not.
The union paid $30,000 a year for the lease and $6,000 a year to lease 4 parking spaces from the building. Elliotte billed Hockey Canada $28,800 a year for the same office space, and plus $72,000 a year for 6 parking spots. The problem there is the building only had 4 parking spaces.
Shut up.
It's just so blatant. He knew that nobody was going to check. Nobody cared.
Yeah. You'd think if, like, even a single person from Hockey Canada had showed up, they would have been like, hey, so we're paying you for how many parking spaces?
Who's going to show up?
Yeah,
Chris Lang?
there's no... Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Sam
didn't care.
Simpson?
It wasn't their money.
By this point in time, most of the directors of Hockey Canada were direct or indirect employees of Alan Eagleson.
I mean, this is the organization that had $1 million slush fund to pay off sex offenders.
Multiple $1 million slush funds to pay off sex offenders?
My mistake.
Give credit where it's due.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
That's what.
All right. I think we'll stop here. So when we come back, we are going to start talking about the bonus pension pool. Speaking of slush funds. So folks, we're going to send you back to the main show. Thanks so much for listening. All right, folks, hopefully you had a great time listening to that. A little bit on Alan Eagleson, but for now, we have been the Neutral Zone Hotel, written, hosted, and produced by us, the Neutral Zone Hotel crew. You can find out more at neutralzonehotel.com. You can go to neutralzonehotel.com/Discord to join our Discord and tell us how bad we were at doing connection games. We're on YouTube and Bluesky at Neutral Zone Hotel. If you're having a great time, hit thumbs up, smash the like button, 5 stars, whatever it is you need to do to show that. Thanks for checking in, folks, and we will see you again very soon.